Hello everyone, my name is Manuela
And my name is Valeria Rodriguez.
and this is our CSE 341 final project. Our project is an animal hospital API. The purpose of our API is to manage pets, owners, veterinarians, and appointments. Our backend was built using Node.js, Express, MongoDB, Passport, GitHub Out, and Swagger.
First, we are demonstrating our deployed application. The API is published on Render and is accessible outside of our local development environment.
Our MongoDB connection is configured through environment variables, so sensitive configuration information is not stored in our GitHub repository.
We will demonstrate the authentication and security of our API. We use GitHub Auth to authenticate users. In this case, our post, put, and delete routes require authentication. I will first try to create a pet without being authenticated. You can see that the request was rejected with a 401 status.
Now I will authenticate using GitHub Auth. After successfully authenticating with GitHub, the user session is created and the API can recognize the authenticated user. Now I will submit the same request again, this time because I am authenticated the request is successful and the API returned a 2001 created status.
First, we are going to show the get all endpoints for pets. This endpoint allows us to retrieve all pets registered in the system. As we can see, the API returns information for each pet.
Next, we have the get all endpoints for owners. This allows us to retrieve all the owners' registers in the system and verify that their information is returned correctly.
Now we are going to show get all endpoint for veterinarians. This endpoint returns a list of all the veterinarians registered in the system.
Finally, we have the get all endpoints for appointments. This allows us to retrieve all the appointments registered in the system.
Now we are going to demonstrate the get by ID endpoint for pets. As we can see, the API returns only the information of one specific pet.
Now we are going to demonstrate the post endpoints for owners. Here we send information for a new owner and the API creates a new record in the system. And then we can see a 2001 owner created successful.
We are also going to create a new pet, veterinarian, and appointment using their respective post endpoints.
Now we are going to demonstrate the put endpoints for pets. Here we are updating information of an existing pet using its ID. We can also see the status code confirming that the update was successful.
We'll also performing the same update operation for veterinarians, owners, and appointments, updating their existing information through their respective put endpoints.
Finally, we are going to check MongoDB Compass to verify that the changes were successfully saved in the database. As we can see, the records created with the post request are present in the database and the changes made with the put request have also been successfully updated.
Now we are going to demonstrate the delete endpoint for pets. Here we delete an existing pet using its ID, and we can see that the request was completely successfully.
We also perform the same delete operation for veterinarians, owners, and appointments, removing the corresponding records from the system.
Finally, we are going to check the MongoDB Compass to verify that the records were successfully deleted from the database. As we can see, the pet veterinarian, owner, and appointment records had been successfully removed from the database.
Now we are going to demonstrate the validation and error handling. First, we try to get an owner by ID, but we enter an invalid ID format. As we can see, the API detects the invalid input and returns the message invalid owner ID format.
Next, we test the post endpoint with invalid data. We leave some fields blank and enter some information incorrectly. And the API validates the request and returns a 404 error showing that the data does not meet the required conditions.
Here we can see the try catch blocks implemented in pets owner veterinarians and appointments. The try block handles the normal execution of the request, while the catch block handles any error that occurs and returns an appropriate response. Now we are going to run our test using npm test command. This allows us to verify that our endpoints are working correctly and that the expected results are being
As we can
returned.
see, our test passed successfully. We have tests for pest owners, appointments, and veterinarians, which confirms that our functionality is working as expected. Thank you for watching.